Hello, Shello. Welcome back to an back. Hold up. Hello, Shello. Welcome back to another fabulous episode of Nellyville Reviews Drag Race Season 18, episode 4, baby. Just so you know, if you don't want to watch the video, feel free to listen to this in podcast form right here on this channel or anywhere you get your podcast. I'm so excited. This was a good episode. If Drag Race gets an Emmy this year, you can't tell me that this episode didn't win it. We haven't, this is enough. Just jump right into it, okay? Yay. So here we are. It's after elimination. Mandy's gone home. The girl's like, dang, sorry, Mandy. Mia does not agree. After the game, Mia's like, Mia lets it be known she thinks Mandy should have stayed over Briar. Oh, that's the last thing you want to hear after you done lip sync against somebody, and then your girls is telling you, I don't even want you to be here. But hold on, let's break it down. Let's get into it. So before we get into all of the Mia telling Briar, baby, I don't even want you to be here, they congratulate Juicy on her win. It was real cute, Juicy is still very thankful to everyone. Thank you for the help. She recognizes, y'all helped me, and this is why I was able to do what needed to be done. Mikey jokes and says, you're welcome, but you owe me $1,000. I thought that was cute. That was a cute little joke. Remember we talked about last week in Untucked, they kind of addressed some misunderstanding between Mia and Briar, but they didn't really tell us, the viewers, like, really what the heck was going on? They woke it up. Mia addresses the misunderstanding with Briar while that had happened last week while they were getting ready. And what happened was, so Briar, somehow, some way, they got on Briar's last relationship, okay? And Mia made a joke, something like, oh, whose fault was it that the relationship ended? I bet it was your fault. Just kicking, just joking around. No harm, no foul, right? Briar didn't think it was funny. It's a soft spot. I guess she's still a little heartbroken. So the issue is that Mia was like, girl, look, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry that I crossed the line. But I'm going to be so real with you. Let's wake it up. I didn't know where the line was because you stay in people's face from day one. You stay in people's face. So look, I like that I like that Mia apologized. Look, hey, if you hurt somebody's feelings, whether you knew where the line was or not, you cross the line, you cross the line. But at the same time, I see where Mia is coming from. Like, Briar, you are so butthurt over Mia not knowing boundaries. But can you really blame her? Because you seem like the type of person that you don't know boundaries either. You're always all up in Athena's face. Let's wake that up. Let's clock that tea. So, and not just Athena, you're always up in everybody else's face. So you could cross the line and not recognize boundaries with everyone else. But as soon as someone crosses yours, all of a sudden you know what boundaries are. But hey, where there is a line, there is a line, and everyone has boundaries. Okay, cool. No harm, no foul. Here goes Mia bringing it, because Briar was like, well, girl, I cued you. I let you know. Like, I wasn't really saying much. You should have known. And so Mia was like, well, what about Athena? Because apparently Briar was even more so in Athena's face than what we saw, even off camera. Just in her face, just nagging her, just not respecting, like, girl, like, back up. So Athena in the confession was like, man, look, I wasn't even gonna say nothing, but since they brought it up, here we are. The girls, so now everybody's going back and forth, everybody's arguing, everybody's doing their big one. Great TV already. We're starting out the episode with great TV, and I'm like, ooh, baby, I'm eating it up. So anyways, so after all of that, Mia's like, look, baby, I'm sorry, but now I know we just don't mess with each other like that, and that's just what's tea. That's okay. So the girls go on. They're like, okay, it's time to take our drag off. Let's de-drag. Let's, baby, here go Briar. Oh my gosh, Briar's like, oh god damn. So Briar and Athena are still kind of, and Briar tries to be like, well, you know what, Athena, even though we go back and forth, the worst part of all of this is that Juicy, your daughter, your granddaughter, doesn't even take up for you. And I need to defend Juicy from you. Now, look, pause, time out. Briar might have had a little bit of point. Briar might have ate a little bit with that, because if we think back, remember that first challenge, and Athena didn't want to run over there and help her granddaughter with the sewing challenge. She was sitting over here debating, do I want to help her or do I want to not? And that's just what we saw on camera. You know what I'm saying? But still, Briar, baby, you was wrong, because you don't get in between family. However, Athena wants to grandmother her grandbaby, that's their business. So Athena, of course, was like, who are you talking about? You need to defend who from who? Who do you need to defend who from who? Let's wake it up. That's my grandbaby. She kept saying daughter. Athena, that's your grandbaby. So that was that. You know, Athena had to gather her, tie her up in a bow, and like, Briar, miss me with all that. And so that was that. We already started the episode with so much tea. It is a new day. It is the next day in the workroom. Mia is in the confessional, and she's just like, you know what? It's a new day. I just want a fresh start. Let's start anew. Let's start over. Let's let bygones be bygones. And you know what? That's a good mentality to have. You when the competitions are stressful enough. Let's just let it go. Girls kiki for a little bit, and then before you know it, the little rules message pops up. They get their little message, and the Rue comes entering the workroom looking fab. Who tells the girls, pair up with the girl who is your best friend. Ooh. The girls run and they grab their purse. Tell me why. Tell me why Briar immediately goes for Juicy. And then Athena, of course, is looking around. Where's my grandbaby? I want pair with my grandbaby. Juicy's already been snatched up by Briar. Now, Juicy seems like she's a very non-confrontational girl. Because Juicy, when Juicy got grabbed by Briar, she was looking like, oh, damn. Like, she had a look on her face like, oh, I know this ain't going, oh, that's not. But she's not the type of person to be like, oh, I'm going to be non-confrontational girl. So Athena's looking like, oh no, she didn't. Oh no, she did. You snatched up my grandpappy. So the pairing ended up as such: Juicy and Briar, Discord and Jane, Mikey and Nene, Sierra and Kenya, Mia and Vita, Darlene and Athena. Then Rue tells the girls, okay, you picked your best friend, but here's what the maxi challenge is. It has nothing to do with being besties. It has nothing to do with being best friends. You're actually going head to head. So the maxi challenge is the girls are going to pick 2 runway iconic pop culture looks, right? And they're going to have to blend the materials together, blend the looks together, and they're going to have to go head to head with their besties with who had the best look. At this point, the girls are gagged. Mia's like, damn, I done snatched Vita up, because she's thinking, okay, this is a design challenge. Oh, okay, this could be cute. This is going to be good. Then she realized, oh, this ain't a group effort. This is a head-to-head. Oh, damn. Baby, go ahead and it's a wrap. Boom. So now it is time for the girls to pick their looks. So the pit crew rolls out this little cart thing with numbers 1 through 10, and the girls get to pick a number 1 through 10. That number is going to pick the look that they have to recreate, a new original look that is inspired from those look. Like, we're not copying and pasting. Each team member is going to pick something to be inspired by. Y'all got to blend. Juicy won last week. Juicy gets to pick first. Juicy picks number 8, which is Lil Nas X 2020 Grammys. Briar picks number 6, which is Rihanna 2015 Met Gala. Then Discord picks number 7, Cher, 1986 Oscars. Their Ru starts imitating Discord's walk. God damn, that walk would never not be funny. And if RuPaul imitating it. Jane, her Discord's partner, pick number 11, Sarah Paulson, Ocean's 8 premiere. Mikey picks number 2 with J-Lo, Versace 2000s Grammys. Nene picks Mega Minaj, Grammys 2011. Sierra picks number 5, Lady Gaga, 2010 VMAs. Vita picks number 12, Lil' Kim, 1999 VMAs. Darlene picks number 3, Kim Kardashian, 2013 Met Gala. And Athena picks number 1. That's the last number left. You heard, Sharon? Last number left, Zendaya, done 2 premiere. Poor Athena had to pick last. She already didn't get to pick her daughter, and she had last pick of the numbers of the looks that were left. But hey. So, and the number, like, you couldn't see the look. She just had to pick a number, and they flipped it over, and that was the look. Like, it ain't like they had to, there was no strategy. It was the luck of the draw. So, like I said, they had to incorporate materials from both looks, and then they're going to go head-to-head, and whoever wore it best is going to be a winner. Ooh, Mikey is feeling the pressure going up to Nene, aka the winner of the first design challenge. Time to get to work. So the girls start to gather their materials from the table. Nene is ready to show the girls that she can do something, that her first win was not a fluke. I found it funny how Athena was saying how close she is to Darlene after being in the Q-pop group with her, and just, the competition in general. I'm like, girl, we all know you wanted Juicy, and by the time you probably gathered yourself, Darlene was probably the last one left. Look, I'm glad that she had a positive attitude, but don't sit here and try to be like, I'm so close to Darlene. Are you? Maybe she was, but I'm like, girl, are you close to Darlene, or did it just happen because everybody picked somebody? And then Athena gonna turn around and say she's interested to see how Briar's gonna handle the competition between Juicy. Trying to say, like, are they gonna be buddy? Or, or is she gonna try to destroy my grandchild? Valid question. Nene and Mikey, they're stressing over the mashup of their fabrics, but I'm not seeing the issue. It's tropical and cheetah or ocelot or whatever the animal is a jungle animal and tropical fabric. I'm not understanding why that's hard. Like, I mean, look, I'm no I'm no designer. I'm no fashionista. I'm none of these things. I'm just a girl with a camera hoping to dream of, a couple bucks in the bank account. But tropical and a jungle animal, like, I'm not, like, what? Jane expresses to Discord in the confessional that she's sweating a little bit by being paired with her, because they both so. Are you intimidated, girl, or is it still your thing carrying on from last week of like, oh, I'm doing something good, I don't want the girls to hate me? Enya is a little worried about the non-stretch meat fabric, and so is Sierra. But hey, look, y'all got what you got. Make it work. Mia and Vita, their fabric seems to complement very well, but Mia is stumped mostly by how she gonna incorporate the chandelier. Mia asked Jane for help. Okay? Jane tries to offer help, and Vita was like, no. So I don't know if Vita didn't want me to have an advantage, or if she thought that Jane was trying to still. I don't know why Vita was like, no, don't get no help from her. James was like, okay, bye. Like, look, I ain't, baby. And then Vita talks about how good she is at, like, she's known for replicating looks. She's known for being able to recreate these looks. And they show some pictures of some looks that she's recreated. Too bad it's not a recreation challenge, girl. Like, it's one thing to be able to duplicate, and that does take a lot of skill. That is, I'm not saying that that's easy to do, but that's not what this challenge is. We're not asking you, can you recreate the look? They're asking you, can you look at these two looks and mash them together and come up with something that is spectacular? Darlene is feeling inspired by the couch floral print, and Darlene is also not intimidated by Athena's design skill. Athena's out here feeling confident. Briar breaks down. When Briar and Juicy are working on their garments, Briar, she's broke down. She's on the floor. She's crying. She's on her knees. It's real sad. Look, competition and being on TV. This competition is hard. We've seen a many of girls. We've seen a many of queens break down. But it's just like, girl, you came in hot. When you entered the workroom, you stood on the underside, didn't want to mingle, gonna put your hands on the table, talking with some meh. It seems like you don't know boundaries. It seems like you do stuff, and now you want to be sitting on the floor crying. You didn't have to come in like that. It's giving insecurity. Baby, pull it together. Stand up. They'll be on the floor crying all on your fabric and stuff. Stand up. It's okay. I get it's stress and it's a lot, but stand up. Kenya starts to struggle a little bit, and even Sierra was like, oh, girl, the sketch is giving a little bit of Spider-Man. Now, I don't know if Sierra was trying to be helpful or trying to get in her head, but, you know, I wasn't getting Spider-Man. I could maybe see how we got to superhero. I don't know. I could see what she was saying, but also I could see where it was Sierra was trying to be like, like trying to throw a little nugget out there. And here go Juicy walking around. Oh, I just don't know how to make this train. Can somebody help me make this train? Is there anybody out there? Here go Jane. I can help you. Baby, Jane's like, look, I'm going to help Juicy, but I think eventually her luck's going to run out. People are going to stop. It's going to run out of people who are willing to help, which is true because Juicy has needed help in every single challenge. Every week she's like, I don't really know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. People have helped her make looks. People have written her lyrics. People have given her coaching tips. Like, people have given her acting tips. Like, Juicy, I get it. You're young. You're a baby queen. But goddamn, girl, what can you do? Like I said last week, what can you do? Quickly. Successfully. Quickly. And here go Athena. Athena struggling. Athena got one of she got a little gown together and she put the stitch on the wrong side for one of the parts of the garment or whatever. I didn't see where she needed to start over. I feel like she could have kept what she had and fixed it and jazzed it up and made it do what it do. But she ended up starting all the way over. And I'm like, we are in elimination day. Briar tries to make amends with Mia. They're sitting together at the station. Briar tries to bring it up and like, hey, you know, let's talk it out. Let's work it out on a remix. And then that's when we find out that Briar was ousted by her family. She had some family drama. We found out about all of that. She ended up moving out at 16. It's nice to get a little bit of insight. But my thing is, I don't like when people, obviously your upbringing and your experiences in life obviously can affect your decisions and everything. What's going on with my scarf, y'all? What's going on with my scarf? Baby. Anyways, look, I understand that the way that you were brought up and your experiences in life can affect your relationships down the line and affect the decisions and everything that you make in life. That's true. That's 100%. In this moment, and maybe we can't blame it on the edit. I feel like only so much can be blamed on the edit, but it came off to me like it was an excuse. And I don't know exactly how old Briar is, but it felt like she was like, oh, I'm this way. I made these mistakes because of this. But I feel like if you could get to the point where you can recognize your trauma, acknowledge your trauma, know that it is trauma and you've addressed it, then you should be aware enough and in a mental state enough to not be like, oh, I can just use this as a crutch. Like, it's one thing to be like, you know what, I'm sorry I did that, I'm sorry I said that, I'm still working on me. And then maybe go into an anecdote. I don't know, it just felt excusey to me. Because the upbringing that you, like I said, it affects. But anyways, they kind of end up being Kiki or whatever. Then we find out that Mia had some issues with her brother. So Mia talks about her brother who actually ended up passing away in 2020 due to a addiction, and Mia regrets how their relationship was at the time of her brother's passing. Her brother, took a very troubled past. He was, he had some addictions. He was incarcerated. I don't know if he was in and out of jail, if he just went that one time and got out. I don't know. Jail, prison, whatever. Not whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying. I don't know if he was just in for that one time and got out, if he was back and forth. But either way, his life choices, it led to Mia becoming distant to him and kind of, in a way, cutting him off. Which, look, you understand. Like, when you get to a point, family and friends, when you realize, like, oh, I can't really help them. There's nothing that I can do for them. They've chosen this life. They've chosen this path for my own peace. Like, I have to let them hit rock bottom. And sometimes you do that out of love. Like, you try to be there for people as much as you can, but at what point do you have to say? Anyways, so she got him off. He ended up passing away, and she wishes that, their relationship would have been a little bit closer. Maybe she tried hard, but you can't do that to yourself. You did what needed to be done for you. Anyways, Mia also said that her entrance look, that denim look that she had on the entrance look, was made out of her brother's, his jeans. She kept all of his jeans after he passed, and that denim look was made out of all of his jeans that she saved. And that was very touching. I know I love a denim look. I like that look. And then just knowing that little sweet little backstory of someone who was so near and dear to you, was a part of one of the biggest moments of your life, your entrance look on Drag Race, the beginning of this whole new part of your life, that I felt like that was a good homage. So then we cut to Nene ask Kenya about her life growing up, and then Kenya reveals a theatrical story about coming out. So Kenya was like, yeah, actually, when I was born, my mother did not know she was pregnant. She was in college. She ended up having me on the bathroom floor of her dormitory. My grandparents decided, and along with my mother, decided she was going to finish school, pursue her career, blah blah blah. So Kenya was mostly raised by her grandparents, and they kind of really weren't that close. I don't know that it was a bad relationship, but they obviously she just said that they weren't as close, and they got closer when Kenya came out. And then here's the more theatrical part of the story. Kenya says that one day in church choir rehearsal, Kenya just had a breakdown, started crying, ran out to the bathroom, and was crying, looked in the mirror and was like, it's time for me to come out. Kenya called her mom and was like, I'm gay, and her mother was like, very supportive in that moment. And then when Kenya hangs up the phone, and I think when she walks out of the bathroom, she walks out of the bathroom, and the whole choir comes out of the church, meets Kenya like in the hallway or something rather, and they're singing "You Got a Friend in Me." There were a gospel version of "You Got a Friend in Me," and they're singing it one by. They're singing it to her, saying, "We accept you, we loved you," and great story. very cinematic. If anybody wants to make a movie, I would watch it. Some people are like, oh, the ginger minge of it all. But, you know, look, some people have real life cinematic moments. Who would say that didn't really happen? I'm not saying that didn't really happen. I'm saying this is very cinematic. It might be worth somebody making a movie or a show out of it. Bring it to the runway. The runway. Run, run, run. Runway. So now it's time for the runway looks. RuPaul walks out looking stunning, gorge, perfect, as usual. We love Mother. Michelle looked good. Law Roach out here representing. And we have our special guest, Judge Annalee Ashford. The theme for this week's runway is red carpet mashups. First up, we have a Juicy and Briar. Juicy, you know what? For her sewing level for the challenge, this is perfectly fine. The judges had some issues with the fur around at the bottom of the dress. It didn't bother me too much. It's fine. Was it my absolute favorite of the night? No, but it was fine, and it did what needed to be done. Whatever. Then we have Briar. Baby, no. Look, no. I'm so sorry. It just looks cheap. It looks thrown together. It just wasn't a good look for me. So for that pair, I picked Juicy. The next pair, Discord and Jane. Discord, you know, look, a lot of people had a lot of issues with Discord's look. And look, I'm always the first one to be like, where are the boobs? Where is the padding? I'm always the first one to be like that. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just because it's Discord. I don't know if it's because it didn't bother me that much that it was a dress on boy body. It didn't give boy body to me. It gave punk. It gave grunge. I felt like the garment was really nicely constructed. The judges said something about the fur looked cheap. But baby, Discord didn't pick the fur. So, I mean, if the fur looked cheap, why'd y'all pick cheap fur? But it didn't look that bad to me. But also, this is what you picked. What did you want her to do with it? Like, I don't understand. Then we had Jane. I didn't like this look. I thought it looked cheap. It looked costumey. Like if I went to a Halloween costume party and someone had this on, it'd be sickening. I'd be sold. But the judges lived for this. I'm sorry. I just didn't see it. I'm sorry. I felt like Discord won this battle. There was elements of Jane's look that I like, but no. The next pair we have Mikey and Nene. Mikey, I thought this was really cute. The judges said it was a little much. They didn't really like the blue mesh. They said it was a little too much of embroidery and stuff. I didn't mind it so much. I thought it was drag. Could we have edited the appliques a little bit? Sure. But I was not mad about it. I thought it was really good. The face and the bug and everything looked great. Now, Nene, this was a very smart look. I think she incorporated both looks very, very well. But I think that to have this look so effortless, I think it takes a lot of design smarts, because the way that it was draped and the way that it does not shift, it was very well thought of. And when you look at a look that looks effortless, when it just looks kind of always just drapey, it can go very, very wrong very, very quickly. The little small details centered over the top, I would have been fine with either one of them getting the win. But for me, I'm going to have to lean just a little bit and say Nene was the winner between this duo. Next pair, we have Sierra and Kenya. Sierra, I thought was a great look. The thing that took me out was the walk. Look, I know that you're trying to do Lady Gaga and pay and do the things and do the Gaga monster walk. I understand all of that, but it kind of took me out of the walk. Just be glam, just kind of walk. If she would have did it just like for a second, it would have been okay, but she did this the whole time, and I'm just like, girl, that's too much. But it was a cute look. Kenya, way better than that first design challenge. Can you see both elements of the looks maybe I would have changed the wig. It was a fine look, but I do think Sierra was a little better. The next pair, we have Mia and Vita. Mia, the judges lived for this. I didn't think it was all that great. I didn't like this zigzag stuff in the front. They like that she did a literal thing with the Lil' Kim Tata hanging out. And I mean, look, I'm glad that someone did it, but I was not that crazy about this look. I'm sorry I wasn't. It was okay, but I didn't love it like the judges loved it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then Vita, hell no. They love this look, and this was a good look. But I'm so sorry. This is one of those looks. You needed a boob. This was not a look that you could just contour and show. Like, no, like it's giving man peck. What do you do? They love this. The judges ate this up. It's a perfectly fine look. I wasn't here for it. And that white piece in the front should have went all the way to the bottom. I don't know. And for our last pair, we have Darlene and Athena. So, Darlene, I like the look. The judges went in on Darlene's shoes, but I think they really fit her. I think it fit the look. I was not mad. This was the materials that Darlene and Athena got was gonna be hit or miss. A metallic and a floral, you know, very 2016. So, you know, but I liked it. I would have maybe changed the wig, but I wasn't too mad about it. When it came to Athena, there were elements of it that I liked, but I feel like that when she turned around in that back part, it was so tortured. It was so worked. I don't know. She turned something out considering she had to start over. I do, you know, keep that in mind. But Darlene is going to be the winner for me out of that pair. And then out of the Mia and Vita pair, it could have been either or for me. It could have been, I'm sorry, it could have been either or. If Vita would have had a nice boob, I probably would have gave it to her. Mia, it was okay. I feel like they were fine. There was elements that I liked, but I'm sorry, either one of them. You know what I'm saying? Moving on to the critiques. So they get critiqued in pairs. So there's no safe this week. You're either in the top or the bottom. Yikes. So everyone got critiqued. So Juicy and Briar were up first. Law and Michelle going back and forth arguing. That was kind of, I was like, ooh, y'all doing a lot. Y'all doing a lot. Law went in on Briar, but Law did give praise to Briar's makeup, which, you know, woo-woo. And then, and so here's where the other Emmy comes in. Here's where the other Emmy, here's where the Emmy, they need multiple Emmys for this. So after the critiques, here go Briar. Briar fainted. Briar fainted. Now, immediately video was like, she's faking. That ain't, she ain't faint. I don't know. I couldn't tell if the girl was faking or not. All I know is I was not expecting nobody to pass out. Girl just fell over, and cameraman is shady than a mug, because why cameraman had right when Briar fainted, her costume ripped up, up on the upper thigh. Now the cameraman gonna try to zoom in. Now that's great for TV and all of that, but the cameraman didn't have to do all that. So then Mia was like, that better be real. Vita's like, baby, it's all an act. It's fake. So half the girls think it was for real. Half the girls think that Briar was putting on because she was getting bad critiques. I don't know. Even after all of that, Juicy ends up being the bestie who won between that pair. We had Discord and Jane. Nobody fainted this time. So they talk about Discord's walk, and after Michelle and Lyle shares their thoughts on Discord's walk, then Rue was like, yeah, you kind of got to share it. Might have to switch it up a little bit. Rue, you told this girl, what was it, last week? Don't change a thing. It's great. Then all of a sudden, Michelle and Law gonna be like, yeah, man, you gotta do something about that walk. Then all of a sudden, Rue gonna be like, yeah, you might do it. Jane ends up being the bestie that wore it best. And like I said, I'm okay with it, but I would have picked Discord. Mikey and Nene are the next pair to go up. They both got good critiques. Nene was picked for the bestie who wore it best, and I'm okay with that. Next up, we have Sierra and Kenya. They both got good critiques, but the judges weren't really getting the references from Kenya, but they did acknowledge that she did a lot better from the first time. Sierra ends up winning, being picked for the bestie who wore it best from this pair. But I didn't mind Kenya's look, as they went in on her a little more than I had critiques. But yeah, Sierra probably, Sierra. Mia and Vita, they both got great critiques. Vita ends up being the bestie who wore it best. And right here I said that I agree. I guess if you had to pick one, sure, I guess I'd pick Vita, but really it could have went to either one of them. Darlene and Athena, the last group to get the last pair to get critique. Which, dang, because it's like they got the Zendaya look, which I know Law is Zendaya's style, like, so to try to incorporate one of Law's looks in front of Law, like, added a whole other extra layer of pressure. They didn't know, but it's like, ugh. Law is such a fabulous judge and great TV. Can I just say, they went in on Darlene's shoes. And I think she brought a lot of shoes that's like that. So I don't know what homegirl's gonna do. They don't bother me that much. If they didn't like them, they hated the shoe. They both got pretty good positive critiques. Athena is the bestie who was picked for who wore it best. I could have seen it go either way. No one had the judges are. But Darlene looks so cracked. I would have gave it to Darlene. So I understand why Darlene was looking cracked, but they gave it to Athena. Whoop-de-doo. The top three end up being Jane, Sierra, and Vita. Okay. The bottom are Briar, even though she fainted. They was like, girl, we don't care about you fainting. You still in the bottom. Discord and Kenya. Vita ends up winning the whole thing, and she wins $5,000. Do I agree with Vita's win? I don't know. I probably would. I don't know. I don't know if but hey, big up to you, girl. Congratulations, Vita. Yeah, I could see where she won, but I think I might have given it to someone else. So now it is time for the lip sync. Briar and Kenya are in the bottom two, and the song is Lights, Camera, Action by Kylie Minogue. We love Kylie Minogue around here. The lip sync was okay. It was a little better than last week. I was like, yeah, you gotta give it to Kenya, and Kenya does win the lip sync. Athena and Juicy are in the back looking gagged. I don't know if they thought that Briar did better or they just shocked that Briar was going. I don't know, but I mean, Kenya did win. Briar had already been in the bottom, and like I said, unless you really, really gag or someone really, really messes up, you in the bottom, 2-3 times in a row, you gotta go, and she was already in the bottom last week, so now let's talk about Untucked, darling. Can I just say, I love the way Nene does her eyelashes so much. I love it. I think it's just so cute. And then all the girls, they walk in they walk in pairs, because when they did the runway, they walked individually. So they walked with their partner to do like a, side by side. And Sierra, I get it, but chill with the Gaga walk. Just walk normal. It was too much. And then we get to see a little bit more of Briar's fainting spell. Always great TV. They still zoom in on the hole and the outfit. I'm just like, damn, y'all doing a lot. And all of the queens are backstage for Untucked this episode, except for Briar. She was getting checked up on. She got a clean bill of health. Obviously, she was able to lip sync and all that, but I guess while they were doing Untucked, I guess she was getting checked out. Now, did Briar not want to be back there by her own choice, or was she not allowed back there, or was she still getting checked out? I don't know, but she wasn't there. And then the girls all talked about the fainting. They talked, was it real? Was it fake? Who thinks what? Da, da, da. And then they talk about Laws, Styling, Zendaya. And then Discord expresses that she thinks Mikey could be in the bottom. And Mikey's like, girl, what? And then they all do the Discord walk. That was super cute. And, when all the girls are doing the Discord walk, they do the thing. I couldn't help but to think, Discord, girl, get your money. This is your moment. I hope she's already banking on it. I think I seen some socials. I seen some things. I think she's gonna bank on it. I think she's gonna do, baby, bank the merch, do the thing. Like, this is your staple of Drag Race. I hope she's banking on this. And here go, but then Discord, baby, don't fill your oats too much, because Discord is the only one who's in the bottom who's not practicing the lip sync. Now, while I see why she did not feel like she needed to practice the lip sync, baby, don't ever be too sure with Drag Race. Don't ever think, oh, I'm good. No, just always be prepared. Always just be prepared. And so, anyways, that concludes Untucked. That concludes episode 4 of Drag Race season 18. Briar took me on a journey. When we did from when we did the promo / meet the queens and episode 1 and to now, when I first saw Briar and the Meet the Queens promo, I was like, oh, I love her. I'm so and then it started going downhill when she came in with the attitude and standing in the meh. And then every week I'm like, you don't respect boundaries. You do too much. You're insecure. It's giving this. It's giving that. Blah, blah, blah. And I've seen Briar on Mistress's channel. They reviewed, I think it was like episode 1 or something. Briar, I think I could be a fan of you, but as of right now, I think you got a lot of growing to do, girl. And I hope that you see yourself on TV and realize, the things. And look, we all learn. We live and learn. I think Briar has some great drag, but you've done some questionable things, and you want to argue with Jan, and y'all know Jandy. If you don't know the beef in the lore with her and Jan, it's a previous Drag Race girl. Look into all that. But I'm like, Briar, don't be an Ariadne. Now, Ariadne, I think, is going to therapy and getting herself together and all that or whatever. But, Briar, baby, I was wrong. But I hope you get it together. We wish you well. And congratulations to Vita. With all that being said, it is time for us to go over here on NELLYVYLLE Reviews Drag Race Season 18, Episode 4. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Okay, bye!